my name's Marley and welcome to my channel. So lately, the things I've been doing consist of studying, eating, sleeping, studying, sleeping, eating, studying, and more studying. And really, I've only been actually studying for one midterm. So I thought it would be a great idea to make a video on how to study psychology in college and uni. Mostly because I had no idea what I was doing in my first year uni, so I thought this would be a pretty great video for anyone who's struggling in their first year on studying psychology. And each of these skills that I'm going to teach you today can actually transfer to any course at all, as long as they require a lot of readings and a lot of memorization. So it's actually quite simple. As long as you have time to sit down, plan ahead, I can almost guarantee you that you could get 100% on your midterm or exam. But remember, this only works if you have mostly definitions that you have to memorize, and this mostly worked for me in my first and second year courses. In my third year courses, it was a little bit different that the way the course is structured. So I'm just going to stick to courses that are textbook based. Professors have a few different ways of teaching, and at my uni, a lot of A and B level, which are first and second year courses, for psychology are always textbook based. And really, I only watch the lectures to just solidify the knowledge that I've read in the textbook already. Or if I have something that I kind of misunderstood in the textbook and I just need some double clarification. So first thing, you're going to need to buy your textbook. Prices are pretty outrageous. So if you've got that government money or rich parents, then you're probably okay. Actually, I'm sure anyone would rather spend almost $150 on anything else than a textbook. Like maybe some new Supreme gear. Anyways, for the textbook, I personally prefer online copies. Mainly because I can zoom in on the paragraphs, which helps make me forget that I have 100 pages left to read in the next 2 days. However, I have noticed with continued use of reading online textbooks, my vision is starting to get a little bit blurry. But I guess you gotta suffer for beauty. I mean intelligence. That was a really bad joke. Always make sure that you have a few hours to sit down and get some energy. I prefer matcha green tea over coffee just because coffee makes me a lot more jittery and anxious, and matcha actually keeps me pretty relaxed and still focused. So you're going to want to make a goal of what you're going to accomplish today. You can just write this down or remember it in your head. I don't judge. Give myself about maybe say 1 hour for each section of the chapter, depending on how long the sections actually are. There are usually, I'd say, maybe 3 to 7 sections in each chapter of psychology textbooks. Well, that's what I've found so far. Once you got into the textbook, you want to have a cute title for your page, just to add some fun in your work, you know? I honestly just do this to feel a little bit more excited that I'm studying and make it feel like I'm doing art instead. Okay, so first title, second title, third title. Don't forget to date it and write the exact time. Page, author's name, date of birth, your name, your dog's name. Oh, wait, okay, let's try this again. Titles. So for first and second year psychology textbooks, you're going to find a lot of bolded words and some italicized words. These are the words that are most important. Extremely important. And you've got to write these ones down. The bolded ones are usually a lot more important, so when you're studying, make sure that you've got the bolded ones memorized 100%. So the easiest way that I do it is like having a bunch of flashcards all on one piece of paper. I put the definition on the left side of the page and the description on the right. You can draw a line down the middle of the page or just not. I write the bolded word and read the paragraph through and figure out the definition along with maybe 1 or 2 points that I should probably remember about these bolded or italicized words. Something that you should always remember to do when you're writing the definitions is to never copy exactly what's in the textbook. You're going to want to make up your own definition using your own words. And this is one of the reasons why I don't type my notes, and I rather just write them with pencil. Because when you're typing your notes, you're kind of mindlessly just typing, copying. Taking the time to writing it in your own words will allow your brain to process it a little bit more than if you're just mindlessly reading. Another thing I find extremely helpful is to write neatly. And I do this because for me to write neatly, I'm actually writing a lot slower than I normally would. The slower I write, the longer I have to think about this information. And since we're on the topic of psychology, the longer you have this information in your working memory, the higher likelihood that it's going to be encoded for long-term memory storage. I also wanted to mention the forgetting curve. It looks like this. This curve describes how quickly we forget information after learning it. The only way to retain boring information is to remind yourself of the information every so often. So the curve shows that each day we are going to lose some of the things we're learning. I recommend to go over your notes the day after just learning them and continue looking over them every single day for even just 20 minutes a day. You can do this while you're on the bus, before bed, as soon as you wake up, when you're on the toilet, eating breakfast, there's got to be like 20 minutes in your day somewhere that you could use to study to get that A+. Something that I really like to do while I'm studying is doodle beside my notes. And the doodles aren't just random. I like to doodle things that I'm actually studying. For example, if I'm talking about the 4 lobes of the brain, I'll probably doodle a brain right there and draw in the different lobes and maybe even color them in. And that's actually going to help you remember later on because you're going to visually see this brain in your head and see the temporal, parietal, frontal, and occipital lobe in your drawing, in your head. Another technique I use is called mnemonics. So I do this by focusing a certain phrase or a certain list of words that you need to remember, and then I'm going to take each of these words and use the first letter of each word and make a list. Here are 5 different words that are all under the same term. I can rearrange these letters to spell clams. And the way that I can refer this to the topic is by referring the word clams to the definition. So for me, somehow the word Bailey reminds me of seafood. So it just ended up working anyway. You gotta be a little bit creative with mnemonics and think of things that probably you might remember, something that has to do with your personal life, maybe something that happened to you as a child, and just try to relate words together and maybe even make a story out of it. So after days and days of getting all your info down into this one notebook, something I like to do to make sure that I actually know the material is to grab a green, red, and yellow colored pencil or pen to mark down beside the definitions for what I remember. I use red for completely forgot or I don't understand, yellow for I should continue familiarizing myself with it, and green when it comes super easy to me. Once you've got 90% of green on all of your terms, you know you're gonna ace this test. I did this for my first year psychology course and I got 96% on the midterm. I did this for my recent Intro to Development psychology course, which is actually the stuff that I'm studying right now, and I got 90% on the midterm. I know I could have gotten higher if I just started studying this right from the first lecture, but I didn't, so that's why I am lacking on a few percentages right in there. And another reason why I really like online textbooks is because they come with quizzes and practice exams. And even videos sometimes. I find that videos are super useful for trying to understand the terms that you've circled with red. Quizzes are also super useful because they're basically preparing you for the exam and getting you in the mode of test taking. Sometimes I'll let you in on a little secret here. Even the profs use quizzes from these online textbooks. So that's basically all I have for you today. I hope that this really helped you with the stress of time management and gave you some effective studying techniques. Share this video if you think that it can help any of your friends, your students, your cousins, your teachers, and make sure to give this video a big thumbs up And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!